crazy. Wait, so this is going to be your first interview in English?
It is my first interview in English. It is my first perform in English as well.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing for me. So I'm continuing studying English after the show. Not just for the profession. Just think personal. I think that to reach some personal goals, I need to improve much better the language.
That's amazing. I actually didn't
Yeah.
know that because I've seen Luis, you got a great resume. I mean, obviously you've been on Narcos Mexico, El Pantera, Who Killed Sarah.
Okay.
So I know you've been in some Netflix stuff before as well, and
Hmm.
that's interesting. You said about this being your first English role. So like, what appealed to you about Cobra Kai? Because like, it must have been quite a fun challenge for you to play something in this big universe, and
Yeah.
someone that's so important for a character in the show, like Miguel.
You okay? Yeah. First of all, um, it was a big challenge first because it was not non-native language. Um, and to be in that universe, I was a huge fan and of Karate Kid. Yeah, my brother. I think that my brother introduced me to this world, right? And I remember when I in my childhood when I was a kid that he had the show in loop all the time, and it was like a video, right? Not by those time there wasn't a DVD. It was so amazing to be part of the show and to perform this kind of character that has had a big reference through the whole story and through the whole seasons. So yeah, and fine, and with the result, it was great. I think so.
So how do you feel about like filming in Puerto Rico? Because that's where you're from, right? Like,
Yeah.
how did that feel? It must have been weird speaking loads of English while you're in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, it was so interesting because I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So I left the country when I was 27, um, searching some new opportunities in different markets, right? But in this case, I moved to Mexico. That is an important entertainment uh, market and for the Hispanic public all around the world. So yeah, when I moved here, I just started taking some acting workshops. I studied drama in Puerto Rico, in University of Puerto Rico. I studied my 4 years, 6 years in the drama department. But at the same time, my major is in educational theater. So my first contact with this art craft was through theater. So and after that, I moved here to try to be more comfortable with with the audiovisual language because it's completely different, right?
Right.
So I've been here for 23 years, 23. So and I'm so fine. I love Mexico City. In this moment, it is a it's a sunny day and a little bit hot. Yeah, the weather here is changing all the time.
I mean, I've never been to Mexico or Puerto Rico, but it's on my bucket list. I'd love to visit.
Yeah, you have to visit it here and Puerto Rico as well. So, and to be in Puerto Rico, my last part of the story of this micro universe, this little study of the whole story, right? Was a lot. I had a lot of feeling running through my mind emotionally, physically, and to to get with a lot of friends from school, personal people important um, in my life. So it was very, 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 very good, very good, and I think that I would love to be there again.
Right. I mean, this role of playing Hector Salazar, it was you were Miguel's father.
No.
And this role was quite interesting. You were a very important part of Miguel's character growth, and you know this was quite new for you. Like you said, like speaking more English, and it wasn't like your role as Lorenzo, the lawyer in Who Killed Sada. It was very different. So
Yeah, totally.
how did you feel about playing this kind of role? Like, how did it feel for you?
It is like both sides, right? Playing Lorenzo and be part of the couple. So in this moment, I think that it was important to speak about to speak and to tell the people to be inclusive and to take the love and the relationship completely normal. That's something that I think that we achieved with that kind of story in Who Killed Sarah, right? So and the other and in the other side, right? To play Hector Salazar is completely the opposite. That yeah, it was very interesting because at first I remember that when it was my first time on set, um, the one of the creators told me that they need to see about my perform and first somebody enthusiastic and somebody that the people on the audience engage, right? Because after that um, we have to see the other side. You know, the first side is bright and enthusiastic, and the other side it is the dark side. So it's like a knife, you know.
Yeah. It was really fun to see how you played this role because this whole thing with Miguel and his whole story was I really relate to him, and the whole thing with the father, like it's really deep. But growing
Yeah.
up, I never saw my father. I was as soon as I heard we're gonna finally see Miguel's father and how he goes about that, I could really relate to it, and I feel like your performance was so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I really could relate to it, like with the way Miguel's looking and thinking his father's a good guy, but then obviously him being young and naive, he doesn't believe his mother, Carmen. But like, how did it make you feel knowing you had an impact on myself and the audience, like playing this type of character?
Okay, let me tell you. And to be honest, in some case, I passed something similar. I was abandoned. Um, um, I grew up uh, without a father figure. Yeah, my father passed away when I was a kid, my childhood, 10 years old. So when I first received the script, and I'm trying to put the structure. And first, it was amazing because every scene uh, had the beautiful and perfect structure, Aristotelic introduction, climax, and conclusion. Every scene and in the whole story um, were built with that kind of a structure. So it was for me very emotional to put on service part of my life and just trying to be identified with the other character, in this case with Miguel, right? So there is a lot of feeling running around. There was a lot of feeling running around through my mind and through my body because, and at the same time, doing that in Puerto Rico is very significant, you know. So it was beautiful. Really, it was very beautiful because there is an artistic part and a creative part, but at the same time, there is part of my life that I put in service for this kind of story, right?
Thank you for sharing that. Like
Yeah.
that's like it's very bittersweet. Like you're playing this type of role and you really understand the character and like what the character's doing to Miguel. Like you really get the whole context of it, and
Hmm.
seeing the mind of the character and being able to relate to your own story. How did you feel about working with Xolo and just interacting with him? You know, with the Miguel character, and obviously Xolo is such a talent. But how
Yeah.
did it feel working with him and just the way you were interacting with Miguel in the story? Because, like you said, you must have felt very emotional being
Yeah.
in that specific way.
Uh, there, there was some points very important that describe the relationship. I think it was like a love at first sight, and the
Mm,
blood get people together even when you don't know the other person,
right,
right? So it was very romantic and 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 beautiful to perform that kind of relationship because of uh, first Xolo is very talented, and something that as an actor I have to identify in the other person is try to scan the personality first, right?
right,
And it was very interesting because I identified that we had some traits, similar traits. First, Latin blood, right? Well, we came from with the same heritage. So first was that, and then it was like, oh my God, we have maybe our nose have something similar. Maybe our the shape of our face, and the black hair,
yeah,
and yeah, so it was very 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 interesting casting. I think that the casting director did his job extremely extremely well because it was like it's you, and it was like this. I didn't do the casting process. Yeah. As an actor, it was for me. It was I got surprised
right,
because my manager of the United States called me and just first he just asked about my availability and for 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 those specific time, right? Are you available on September and on December? Okay, in this moment, I'm available. So for what? Okay, um, I will call you. I will call you later. Let me check something. And I was boarding an airplane coming back to Mexico. I was in the coast, Oaxaca
right.
coast, um, in the west coast, right? So, and in the moment that I was sitting, I received his phone call and told me, "Hey man, you got the part. Okay, okay, perfect. Send me the lines, send me the sites, because to do the casting, no man, no, no. The studio, the creators, and everybody approved that you're in. Really? I don't understand. It's not a normal process. It's completely
Right.
atypical process, right? So it was a gift. It was really a gift for me as an actor. I'm so grateful to be part of the show, and how was the process, because it was not normal
Yeah.
for an actor, right? Maybe an interview or maybe a casting, and in this moment self tape. You know what I mean? But in this case was completely was not normal.
Right. They must have immediately gone, Luis is the guy. We need him. He resembles Xolo. I mean, he could play the father well. I think they definitely saw that. And they were like, yeah, we know we got our guy. Like they wanted to skip all of that, but that must have been very weird for you, being so used to the normal process of casting. Um, but yeah, like you were saying about when you were talking to the creator and like you met William Zabka. I know like your characters didn't interact, but I always wondered if how would Hector feel if he was to meet Johnny and sort of if he understood who he was to Miguel, and obviously if he knew that was his son, like how do you think he would feel?
Yeah, I feel like first, I I put that that character is an outsider, right? Hector has not idea about the other universe, even about that maybe he he has a desire to have a family because it was in the story, right? A family and a kid. It was written in the scene in the kitchen, at the kitchen, right? and and it was for me like, okay, I'm an outsider. I don't know anything about the story. I left a past away, and he told that I put a past away. Yeah, a past, but in this case, maybe crime, maybe illegal businesses, uh, and that it would be interesting to meet the other character of the story. In this case, the other day I was reading that it is the first time that the character take out a gun in the story,
Mm.
and it is it's shocking, and at the same time, but it is amazing. And oh my god, I was the person in charge to do to do
Yeah.
that. So let's see what's gonna happen. And I told you, I'm so grateful with the result first,
Mm.
and how the writers guide the storyline of this, when the first season to the end right now.
Right, and it's been so many seasons in the making, so to finally see it happen, it was amazing. And like you said, the thing with the gun, that moment in the scene, it was like wow, like that's when Miguel starts to realize, okay, uh, mum, Carmen was right about this guy.
Yeah,
He's starting to see that bad side, but it really makes you feel sad when you just see the sorrow in Miguel's face. Like just he's so defeated when he sees this because he had so much faith. Like you said,
hmm
the love at first sight. Like he had so much faith. He was so happy, and then it just felt like it broke him seeing that's who his father really is.
yeah.
Um, that was
It's a
definitely.
big disillusion for him.
Mm,
Yeah, it's like as an audience, I can say like, oh my god, sorry for him. It's a big disillusion for Miguel character.
right, and I mean, it definitely when he leaves, and Hector goes, "Chitaron for one," then and he says like, "Take care of yourself, kid." I always thought, I always wondered if Hector will try and maybe because he knows where Miguel is. He knows he's a karate champion. He knows he's in California. So
Yeah.
I've always thought that was interesting that the writers writ it in that way. Um, but like that scene with Johnny and Miguel, that got me so much when
On the street.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
scene. Oh, that I was in tears when I saw that, knowing like he's on the phone to his mum, and then obviously
hmm
he sees Johnny. I mean, it was definitely heartfelt. Like you got to see that whilst they filmed, right?
hmm
That moment. How did you feel watching that?
Okay. Is a kind of to assure or to assume that that he has a father, not a father from blood, but it is like to identify or to put really on the table, on his heart, on his mind, that Johnny is the real father figure. Like it is convinced about that. So yeah, it's beautiful. And for the audience, I think that it's more important in this case the audience. And something that the one the creator told me, it was like just win it, and it was in a specific direction. We need that. Imagine that Miguel's eyes are the audience. So through the process, all the time, the audience is watching you through Miguel eyes. So that's the reason why we want you first with in the bright side, like a good guy, and after that we want to see the other side. That is something important that I think that is all human beings are like that. It's like a yin and yang, right?
Right.
The two different. We need from light and we need the dark. Every exposition of that kind of light in our life. So it was very assertive from the writers and from the people who is in charge and the creators of the show, and very emotional. It was very, 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 very emotional.
For sure. And I think to start the season with such a, because this show really has got darker, and characters have got very mature. And at this point with season 5, like everyone's really like maturing as a character, and that was definitely something everyone can relate to. You have that moment in your life where you really feel like you're maturing, and I think maybe Miguel had that moment going to Mexico to find this truth about his blood father. And so sometimes like it's in human nature to do things the hard way. Sometimes it's not, you don't always learn the easy way, and I think I like that about the journey. Even though it's sad to see Miguel go through it, you understand that is like what real life is. That's the reality, which I loved how the writers went about that arc, and it was fantastic. I found the scene very interesting when you guys are at El Hoyo Verde. I absolutely loved it. It was really cool. Just seeing, Hector's having fun. He wants to take Miguel out to this fight club, because obviously saving your son, I mean, you gotta, return the favor somehow for someone doing something so extraordinary. But like that environment, that was it was interesting to see the interactions Miguel and Hector had in that moment, because when he suspected Miguel was
from the FBI.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, Miguel. I was like,
and in this particular case, it's so funny because okay, there is a lot of intention, emotion, and maybe betrayed of something that in this moment the character actors trust him, because the starting point is that Miguel saved a life, right? So it is like to be grateful with somebody, but in that specific moment, it was like all of a sudden, right? Oh my God, you are from the FBI. So in that moment, Hector is telling about his real life,
right?
That he fled from his country to another one, maybe from some cases. And something that I really love is that there's nothing specific about his past. It's like a could be this. It could be a business, illegal business. Could
Right.
be from mafia. Could be from you don't know really
Right.
what's going on with him. The only thing that it is like a, oh my god, that person. Be careful, be careful, watch out, because I can't trust in him.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like you can't pinpoint why the FBI would be looking for him. And that's quite interesting that because it's like Hector said, he made a lot of friends in high places, but he
Uh-huh.
also made enemies. And you're kind
Uh-huh.
of wondering who the enemies are.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this whole universe, and me being such a big fan of the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, I mean, we love characters interacting that I've never met before. And a lot of fans and myself, we feel that, in the world that Hector has been involved in previously, he might know someone like Terry Silver, the
Hmm.
man that's running Cobra Kai. Um, do you think Hector would ever like to do business with someone like Terry, knowing he's very similar in the business side? And do you ever think they would sort of have like a respect for each other?
uh to be honest, I haven't paid attention of that. And because if I pay attention of that, and I'm seeing everything with expectation. So in this moment, to be for me, it was great to be part of the show, and it was something new for me.
Mm,
uh, uh, I had a lot of experience acting and in different environment, theater, film, and TV show, but not in English language. For me, it's a new possibility of a it's a new market, right? For
mm,
me, and in this moment, okay, and I'm convinced that I was there just to accomplish what part, a specific part of the story, and
right.
it was really really great and amazing. So if something is coming, I think that I need to be prepared, and maybe whatever it comes, right?
Mm,
Uh, uh, so that's the reason why I continue practicing the language and continue taking classes, and because there's something personal. When my father passed away, he was he belonged to the U.S. Army. He was a soldier,
right.
and he was the person who introduced us, in this case, my brother and myself, to the language. So, and when he passed away, I think that, and I was investigating uh, through therapy, psychological therapy, to identify why, right? And I identified that I got blocked for that specific communication to learn another language. So after that, I'm just putting myself, trying to develop a lot of skills,
Mm,
and discovering. And through this show was amazing because it was like, okay, it's a new market, and at the same time, um, I need to improve the language, not just for my profession, and as well for my personal life.
mm.
I love traveling, so it's a beautiful way to keep in contact with people that you meet everywhere, right?
Right. And I mean, if have you ever been to the UK? I mean, that's definitely something that might interest you, knowing the English language a little bit.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there when maybe more than 10 years, 12 years. Uh, yeah, no, sorry, 2000, 2003, something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. In those times, I was a kid.
I was like what, 4? I would have been like a toddler or like
in
yeah,
in which
really
part of
young.
UK
But
you live? In which part of UK
oh,
you
which
live?
part? It's I don't know how well you know the UK, but I'm in southwest England. It's like 20 miles from London. It's
Okay.
you know about Windsor Castle, you know, the historic landmark?
Windsor, yeah.
Yeah, I live near Windsor basically. So
Okay, okay.
it's very nice. It's quite posh around here. But yeah, London's a beautiful city. There's so much there.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, you obviously know. Yeah, I mean the UK is a beautiful place. So many nice parts. Um, I mean, you got the coast, you got the rural side, the countryside, and you know, it's like, you know, that's why you travel, right? You want to see the beauty of the world. Like that's the reason why I want to go to Puerto Rico. That's the reason why I want to go to
In
Mexico.
Mexico
And
as well, yeah.
yeah, I'd love to connect more with that side of the world. And I've interacted with so many people, like
Yeah, yeah, you need to cross the ocean.
exactly, like so many people, because so many fans, so many Cobra Kai fans, Latina, you know, they're from that part of the world. It's so great to see how much they love the show, and it, I really like how the show has sort of, you know, you were saying about how you grew up with the Karate Kid,
Hmm.
how it's managed to impact people of your age and my age and even younger. Um, when you first heard about Cobra Kai, bringing back these characters from the
Hmm.
Karate Kid, you know, like how did you honestly feel about that? Because you know, a lot of reboots and shows, they come back and they don't feel that they don't have that passion, you know. It's like they get, some of them get ruined. Like, how did you honestly feel when you first heard about it?
Um, that there is a big possibility and great job to join two different generation.
Mm,
There is a big generation gap, right? So in this moment, it is like to uh, to continue and still having generation thinking by the same time and how Karate Kid philosophy and like how can you that times uh, become in a good way, right? So in this moment is marvelous. It's spectacular that new generation can continue thinking and using, right,
mm.
the karate kid philosophy, and in this case the beautiful and amazing Mr. Miyagi, right, that
Uh,
he's it's like he's alive.
mm,
Yeah, like he is alive. So it's amazing being part of that, and to be part of that, and to contribute for new generations and so for the new society to contribute with that kind of philosophy, because everything is about love. Everything is talking about that we are at the end really we are good persons. So so I feel proud. I feel proud of of that, and to be just a grain, a little grain of this, a little point of this amazing world.
for sure. And I mean, the, you know, the impact of Mr. Miyagi had on all of us. I mean, I love the inclusion of how they obviously keep him so important to the story, and you can't forget a character like him. He's so important for not just Daniel, but anyone, like, you know, Sam, like Daniel's daughter, and all the other characters that surround him. Even Miguel.
No.
The impact through that. How, when you were growing up, who would you say was your all time like favorite character in the Cry Kid? Was it Mr. Miyagi?
Of course.
Yeah, had to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Mr. Miyagi, of course.
Mm,
Yeah, his temperance, uh, his calm, his philosophy, uh, his beautiful energy, and the way he guide the kids in the
right.
story, and how how long and he take his time to explain something, and taking his time to explain something that at the end is beneficial. It's a great benefit for the human growth, right? So yeah, Mr. Miyagi, there's no doubt that for me, yeah, he was the beautiful Mr. Miyagi, a most important character. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love
And he
Miyagi.
impact, yeah, he impact did a lot in my life. So
Mm. It kind of goes back to the whole the father figure. Like, Miyagi was you could find solace in his character, like the way he reached out to Daniel and sort of, he was like Daniel's best friend. Daniel lost his father at a young age, and seeing someone like Miyagi come into his life, like in the way it happened, it was so beautiful to see that. And I mean, my own granddad, he passed away a long time ago. He reminded me of Miyagi a lot, and he even influenced me to get into karate,
mhm.
which is crazy. But which brings me to my other question: have you actually done any martial arts before?
If I what?
Any martial arts? Like, have you ever done karate?
Yeah, I did it. I did it. Yeah, yeah, because I spent like 3 years practicing karate and some martial arts and something like that. With a show that I did here, I think it was like in 2006, from 2003 seasons, that you you name it, and you told me at first of this interview, El Pantera. So um, uh, I practice, yeah, a lot, but it was like a 15 years ago, I think so. 15, no, 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 10, more than 10 years. And I developed some skills, but in this moment, I
Have you
have no
got? Have you still
practice.
got the skills?
If you learn something very well, you can lose it. I
Hmm.
think so. Even like lines, right? If one of my acting professor, and he is my mentor, one of my mentor. He told me like, when you learn your characters and the line, you have well learned that, you have the 50% ahead. So something that you learn very well, you will never forget it.
Right. So it's sort of like how when you see Johnny going back to doing karate, and he just like his first kick, he's like limping because he hasn't stretched in a while, which is funny. But um, yeah, I agree. Like, you can easily lose skills. I mean, I don't remember a lot of the work I did in karate. It's such a long time ago.
Okay.
Um, but like, yeah, with I mean, it's really cool. Like, we saw with the El Hoyo Verde, the inclusion of MMA, like another martial art.
Yeah, it is. It is like the new interpretation, right?
Right.
Of martial arts, and everything is permitted.
Yeah.
Of course, with protection, right? But but it's very tough. It's very, very, very tough, and extremely aggressive. Yeah, but it's part of this new generation. So I think that um, uh, that part, el hoyo verde, was like, oh my god, it's gonna be happening with this later. Something's gonna be happening with this later
Right.
because it is martial arts at the same time.
Mm. It was nice to see like because we haven't really seen characters in the show really do any other styles other than karate. So to finally see two big martial arts kind of go head to head, it was quite interesting. But yeah, MMA mixed martial arts is very complex. So
Hmm.
it's like one of them things, you know, like yeah, which style would win in a fight? It always makes you think. Um, but like do you like you said about you know like you can lose the skill with something like you know you did martial arts a lot for El Pantera, but like staying fit, is that something you love to do? Um,
Stay,
staying
staying
fit,
fit.
like yeah.
Yeah, all the time I'm working with my body. It's a tools. It's a tool for my career, right?
Mm.
Sometimes I need to gain weight, and then to reduce this at the same time. Yeah, because you don't know what character is coming, and in this moment, I love to transform and to change my body with every character that I've done. And because I really don't like as an actor to repeat some expressions and traits. And I love the way the character walk. It is something for me very important. How to use the costume and
Right.
the wardrobe, right? How to use the wardrobe. So I try to keep moving my body, to keep moving my body just with that, and to receive a lot of oxygen to my brain
Yeah.
to the exercise or to the workout, right? So yeah, and I think that I keep going doing that because I feel healthy, I feel very well and alert, and yeah.
It's definitely important.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
with with all the dojos you see in the show, like you know, all these new characters coming in and kind of being curious about karate, like where they would go. As yourself, not Hector, just as yourself.
Hmm.
If you were to take up karate, which dojo would appeal to you the most?
mm, Miyagi.
Straight away. I was
Yeah,
thinking it might be just
yeah.
straight up Miyagi-Do.
I can't betray Mr. Miyagi. It was a very important people in my childhood, you
Mm.
know. So I need to be honest with his philosophy and with his way of thinking, right? So definitely.
Would you say, apart from the philosophy, would you like to do the types actually do all those types of like practices?
Yeah. Do you know Shikun?
Chikun.
Shikun on it's a kind of Tai Chi.
I don't think I know Tai Chi, but not the specific one.
Okay, it's a kind of it's different, but at the same time, the way you manage the energy is like a breathing and moving softly your body. Shikun is not similar, but in that way, they have something similar how to manage the energy, like a kung fu, something
Mm.
like that. Mm, there is something in common. The way you can manage the energy and breathing, of course, that is the most important part in for life. Is the best is the first thing that you do when you're born, right? Life is breathing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's really important. Like how Miyagi-Do is so it's almost just like meditation.
Hmm.
You know, you really try and understand the inner the inner side of being a human, you know, whereas something like Cobra Kai, it's really the tools you have and, you know, using the aggression that you might have to go about a specific way. But yeah, with Miyagi-Do, it's so deep, so well, like it really teaches you about balance, you know.
Yeah, look to your inside. Look inside. That first, I think that is the most important part of the human being. Trying to be a better human being, right? If you look inside, you can deal with everything outside. But please don't look outside because there is a lot of noise out there, right? So it's very important, that kind of philosophy. That is what I love, really, Mr. Miyagi, and through his philosophy, I've been understanding a lot of stuff in my life. So first, yeah, try to be a better human being, and then it's a kind of that, try to be the better version of yourself. It's a new interpretation of that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a good point. So to round this off, tell me, what's the biggest life lesson you've learned from playing the role of Hector, and just how it's like influenced you and the way you see things as a person?
Okay, the big lesson. Let me think about it just a bit. Mm, that everybody, okay, you cannot go through the beautiful trip of your life by your own. You always need somebody who guides you, right? So in this moment, as it is like thinking about abandon. Oh my God, it is very personal, but at the same time, Miguel has suffered that. Um, uh, like try to trust in people, try to trust in the other one, and if you have the necessity to hear some voices for something that you haven't decided, try to search a guidance. Try to search somebody specific that you trust, and to express yourself as you are, right? And to receive the best advice, and be grateful with the persons and with people who's been through your path, through your life. So I think it's very important, and try to avoid a lot of noise outside, because there is too much in this world. And in this moment, I think that after the pandemic, um, people mind changed a lot, and I think that I don't know why, but there's too much ego outside. So try to control your ego, try to be a better person, try to put in your daily bucket list, try to help somebody, and or you maybe to listen somebody. If you have an encounter outside, on the street, whatever, try to be nice. Kindness is an important characteristic of the human being. So we have to use it for ourselves and for the other ones.
I love that. So much philosophy and wisdom there. It's almost like you're Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
I love that. Luis, it's been honestly a pleasure to talk to you on here. Thank you
No, it's
for
my
coming
pleasure,
on,
man.
man.